Today I find myself floating in an endless ocean on a 2x2 plank of wood with nothing more than a hook and a shark named Bruce, setting out to find what happened on this post-apocalyptic world. From finding a real-life person to coming across some amazing sea creatures, we went from the smallest raft possible to a beautiful floating home. Without further ado, I played 100 Days in Raft. Our very first day in, and I got to work pulling materials out of the vast ocean. Alright, let it float by. Oh, I've missed it again. This is going to be long. In we go. Waha. Yeah, 2 for 1. It wasn't long before I spotted a large chest and pulled it on in. Oh my, that had so much stuff in there. Bruce was hard at work destroying the foundations that I had just built. Cheers, buddy. With our foundations now replaced, I placed down our first big item, the research table. I then got to work researching all the materials that we had managed to reel in. Ooh, we learned quite a bit there. We decided to craft a wooden spear for when Bruce returned. Oh, would you look at the timing on that? Feeling tired, I decided to call it a night and crafted a sleeping bag, placing it down on our raft. Waking up thirsty, I stupidly decided to drink seawater. This in fact made us even more thirsty. With panic now setting in, I jumped into the water to try and collect more material required to make a purifier, but Bruce was at the ready and he took the first kill. With our scrap now turned into nails, I then placed them on the research table. Ah, collection nets, that's what we want. We want those collection nets. Reeling in more barrels, I found some more scrap. I had now built our grill and simple purifier. Something I should have done on day one. Seeing an abandoned raft floating by, I dropped down our stone anchor, which we in fact forgot to drop, and swam across to see what we could find. Once aboard, we found a large chest containing various items. Oh, we got a bolt. No, Bruce! At least you're entertained for a little bit. Day 3 now, and I was hard at work expanding our collection nets on our raft. Bruce was once more causing problems, but with our spear in hand, we was able to take care of him. If it wasn't Bruce giving us problems, it was the stupid seagulls attacking our crops, so I did what any great farmer would do and build a scarecrow. You stand there and you protect, okay? Good. It wasn't long before our new friend was doing his sole purpose. Good, Scarecrow. I then decided to craft a calendar. This allowed ourselves to know what day it was and also helped me edit this later. I then crafted something no floating raft should go without, a sail. For now, we'll just throw it down there. The next morning I come across our first island, so I dropped our anchor and jumped off our raft. I'd first need to take care of Bruce. The score was now settled. Yeah! With Bruce now out of the way, I got to work collecting resources with our trusty hook in hand. I then set sail once more, collecting any trash that wasn't collected by our nets. It wasn't long before I come across another small island, so I dropped our anchor once more and hopped on land. I then got to work chopping down any trees that I could find. Oh, we got coconuts. Nice. With our inventory now running out of space, it was time to craft a few small storage chests. For now. Plastic's starting to look good. The next day I threw in some catnip for Bruce and got to work collecting more materials from the island. Yeah. Yes. It wasn't long before the effects of the catnip wore off on Bruce and he was back attacking us. So with that, I decided it was time to move on once more. Carrying out some onboard chores, I put some fish on the grill to cook. With our collection nets now in place, they were doing a good job at collecting anything that floated by past us. Once more, Bruce was back at it again. This time we was a little too late to defend ourselves and lost a part of our raft, pulling in more barrels as we drifted along. As you can see, I was still useless with a hook. With our inventory getting full once more, we then crafted some more storage chests. The next morning, while organising our inventory, a friendly neighbour stopped by to say hello. Whoa! Holy schmoly! That thing is huge! With another small island in sight, we threw our anchor in once more, and then took care of Bruce. It's now 2-1 to me, but who's counting? I then got to work collecting more metal ore, scrap, stone, and clay. Crafting our first wet brick, I then placed it down on our raft to dry. I then got back to work collecting more planks and fruit on the island. Early the next morning we decided to cook up yesterday's catch. We then researched our first dry brick. This then allowed us to learn how to craft a smelter. While on the hunt for more clay, Bruce nearly evened the score. Scared by the prospect of dying once more, I decided to move on. I then did a bit of fishing to pass the time. Bruce was back like clockwork, taking chunks out of our raft, but once again he was no match for our wooden spear. Ah, Bruce is dead! Can we put it on? Ah ha ha! Oh yeah. Expanding our raft some more, it was time to place more collection nets. As night fell on day 11, we came across another abandoned raft, once more hopping in to collect its contents. Oh wow! Look at all the jellyfish! The next morning, I crafted ourselves a streamer, allowing us to see the direction of the wind. Let's put down the streamer. And we'll see what direction the wind is blowing. I then got to work expanding our raft even further, collecting any large storage chests I could see passing by. Yeah! With that, I was then able to finish our collection nets on our raft. I then stopped off at another island as night fell. First things first, we took care of our good friend Brutus. I then got to work collecting more sand and clay. Oh, and sand. Perfect. With enough dried bricks, I was now able to craft a smelter. I then immediately put it to work. I then placed down our freshly smelted metal bar on the research table. Yes, now we can make hinges. We can make a bolt, shovel, shears. Oh, we learned a lot here. Metal spear. Net launcher. Ah, advanced grill. We want that. Oh, we can make a proper anchor. Get in. And a cooking pot. Our primitive hook had served as well, but it was time for an upgrade. With enough metal bars created, we was now able to make ourselves an advanced grill. This was a much needed upgrade. We got a grill. We got a grill. Right. Let's make a little cookout section. The new grill allowed us to cook up some larger fish that just wouldn't simply fit on the smaller grill. It was back to what we do best the next morning, taking out Bruce. Hey, Brucey, Brucey, Brucey. Yes. And slapping everything in sight with our metal hook. With more sand and clay now obtained, I then crafted more wet bricks and placed them down on our raft. With the bricks now dry, it was time to make ourselves another smelter, increasing our production. I then crafted an advanced purifier. This allowed us to produce 5 clean cups of drinking water at a time. Let's just put this somewhere that's most... I'll just put it on this back wall for now, but I'll put it over here. Using vine glue and plastic, I was now able to craft an empty bottle. As night fell, we could see a large island off in the distance. Once we arrived at the island, out of nowhere, a large bird decided to drop a rock on us. Oh my god! Feeling like I was not welcome, I decided to craft a bow to defend ourselves. Once on the large island, I was greeted by a warthog who clearly believed he was Edge and tried to deliver a spear. Oh my god! Not friendly. Oh! Oh! Not friendly. Oh my god, you got some health. Jesus! Oh, finally. I then stumbled across a cave that contained a few clumps of soil. Using our shovel, I then collected these, not knowing what they were for. Feeling brave, I stupidly decided to try take on Big Bird, but he dropped a rock right on our head, nearly killing us in the process. This thing's beating the life out of me. With our health now low, I decided to retreat back to our raft, fearing another death. Once I had moved our raft to another part of the island where Big Bird wouldn't attack us, we decided to take out Bruce once again. Nice. Upon exploring, I came across our first pufferfish. With crossbow in hand, I took him down. Ooh. Yes! And just like that, we got a puffer. I then got to work collecting more material while Bruce was no longer a problem. Smelting our first bit of explosive goo, we received explosive powder. This allowed us to learn net canisters. I was then on the hunt once more for more pufferfish, so I could make ourselves a net canister. Pufferfish, come on. We gotta beat you up. God, you hideous. There we go. Yes. Right, we need to follow that up to the surface. Excited at the possibility of a new friend joining us, we decided to make ourselves a small animal pen. With our target now in sight, I fired the net launcher. No! Oh my god. I've just wasted my ammo. What a failed attempt. I'll get you one day, buddy. Heading back to our raft, disappointed, I realised that I had actually forgot to drop the anchor once more and was just stuck on the island. Let's see if we can put on the thingy head. Oh my! No way, look at that. That is kind of scary, but cool. We've got a little puffer on our head. I spent day 20 carrying out chores on our raft, smelting up ores, cooking our raw food, expanding our raft further, keeping Bruce at bay, and emptying our collection nets, which were becoming pretty full. With our small storage chests nearly full, it was time for an upgrade. Early the next morning, we made ourselves a permanent solution to the anchor situation and placed it down on our raft. Boom, baby! Yes. So now we can drop the anchor whenever we want. Taking care of business once more, I carried on collecting more materials from the seabed. I also collected more planks, palm leaves and coconuts before we left the island, crafting more wet bricks and placing them down on our raft. We then placed down a medium crop plot and planted our recently collected watermelon seeds, leaving Mr. Scarecrow in charge once more to keep a close eye. We now had 4 smelters operational and was hard at work getting through our ores and seaweed. While our smelters were hard at work, I decided to do a bit of light fishing. While drifting along, I came across another large island, dropping our anchor. I then went out in search of more pufferfish. Unable to find any pufferfish and Bruce hot on our tails, I decided to return to our raft, but not before Bruce took a big old bite. Ooh, Brucey. Placing our bottle on the research table, I was now able to craft an oxygen bottle and binoculars. With our newfound lung strength thanks to our oxygen bottle, I got to work exploring underwater, once more coming across another pufferfish. Returning back to our raft once more, I smelted our explosive goo so that I could craft more net canisters. Right, net launcher at the ready, I once again went in search of our first animal, but first we needed to take care of Edge. Whoa! This time, setting our shot up perfectly, I managed to bag ourselves a goat. Ah, come here, buddy. Ah, you're so cute. Look at those little eyes. You're gonna love your new home. I'll even see if I can try and find you a friend. Let's hope we don't get attacked by Brutus. We then hurried back to our raft to show him around his new home. Welcome home. It's not much, but I will try and make it better. Let's name you Boaty. With spare ammo to hand, I went in search of more animals, this time missing our first shot. Although he didn't elude us for long. Ha ha! We've got ya! Oh. Oh, you're gonna meet Boaty. You and Boaty are gonna get along just fine. We'll call you Egg, you know? Egg. Feeling brave, I decided to take on Big Bird once more, and well... No! With another death in our books, I set sail once more. I then got to work cooking Bruce, expanding our collection nets even further, and increasing our storage capacity. Day 26 was a pretty slow day on the raft, although a passing by stingray piqued our curiosity, but Bruce spoiled the fun once again. The next morning, I crafted another grill and placed it down in our new cooking area. Bruce was ever present, causing chaos as usual. With our storage area expanding, it was now time to move the animals to a new location on the raft. You best enjoy your new home. It's taking a bit. I then got to work expanding our storage area. Whew. Wood. I need wood. Yeah. Feeling like I needed a sit down, I crafted ourselves a chair and placed it underneath Edge. Let's see what that looks like. It sits to the side. How cool's that? With plans to build another floor on our raft, I placed down a set of stairs outside our storage area, and then got to work placing down the additional floor. Taking care of Bruce once more, I got to work collecting more material. Coming across another pufferfish, I took the opportunity to collect more explosive goo and killed it. Cheers, buddy. I need your stuff. Unable to find a llama, I decided to catch a goat for our ever-growing farm. We may as well not go back empty-handed, eh? At the start of day 29, I smelted down more vine goo. I then crafted the receiver and the required antennas, 3 in fact. I then headed up to the first floor of our raft, where I placed down our receiver and antennas, hoping it would work. With a simple battery now crafted, I placed it down into the receiver and hey presto, it worked. While drifting towards our destination, I decided to do some fishing. I then finished the day by cooking all the fish that I had caught. Early the next morning, while still fishing, I could see our first destination from afar. Using our paddle, we edged ourselves closer to what looked like some sort of oil rig. Not sure what to expect on board, I called it a night. The next morning, I jumped off our raft and began exploring. While on the rig, we found a note talking about someone named Sparrow, who had basically taken their boat and left them stranded. Look at that. I got you, Bruce. I got you, Bruce. Oh, more metal. Nice. I then found even more scribbles. Robbie's boat's gone. Bruce is after me. Gonna stay here until I find a way off this place. Mike. Caught a shark named Bruce. I then found a headlight blueprint. And a note.
Trace. Pick up note.
Owl's radio notes. 22nd of December. Distress call received. Balboa Island. 2nd of February. Gunshots in the distance. 6th of March. Another distress call. Varuna Point. Missing child. 16th of April. Rafters dreaming of utopia.
The radio towers seem to be getting distress signals left, right and centre.
Oh! No way, there's a person.
I then come across someone named Talia, who then turned into a beam of light, which was odd. Within the room we found ourselves a recycler blueprint. I then received another 4-digit code to the next destination. Returning to
there
our
we go,
raft,
yeah, so
I
I
then
can
used the
learn a
blueprint to
recycler.
learn how to make a
I need a
recycler.
battery for that.
I wasted no time and made a recycler. I then inserted our battery and started filling it with palm leaves. As night fell, I entered the coordinates into the receiver for our next destination. The next morning, I got to work expanding the first floor of our raft some more. Coming across another small island, I lowered our anchor. Bruce was first up on the hit list, taking care of him once more. I then got to work collecting more material.
Found a
While
little
exploring,
cave
I come across
system.
this little underwater cave which contained a storage chest full of goodies.
Nice.
Once back on our raft, I got to work building our own little shack. Running low on materials, I emptied our collection nets once more. And just like that, we had built our sleeping quarters. From our window, I realised that we had arrived at our next story location. Dropping down our anchor, I got to work crafting ourselves a head torch. While swimming over to the ship, I found a mechanical part which appeared to be something that would become useful on the ship. I then found an entrance at the back of the ship. With it getting dark, I then decided to put on our head torch. I tried this lever, but nothing happened. We then found another note.
I heard from the captain. We're heading for one of the high-rises down south. I can only hope you come to your senses and follow us. You knew the city was a failure, Ruben. Why do you always have to be so stubborn?
Using a crowbar I'd just found, I managed to pry open this door.
Crowbar. What is that? Oh man, not another thing to contend. Ah! Die!
Once inside, I found this locker that required some bolt cutters, and a door that required a blue key. In the bathroom, I then found a key, but it wasn't blue. Using the red key, we managed to get into this room. I then found another mechanical part and a set of bolt cutters. Using the bolt cutters, I removed the lock. Once opened, I found the blue key and a note from someone named Orloff, complaining about no one obeying him. Using the blue key I'd found, I unlocked this door that led upstairs. We then found another ranting note from Orloff.
Suspected the crew is completely incompetent. Of course, the food shortage will need to be handled. Tonight we're discussing which staff members are most suitable for termination.
Termination.
Searching the raft some more, I come across another one of those creepy rats.
Oh, not another one.
Finding this trolley blocking a door, I realised that I needed to craft the jack, so that's what I did. Returning with the jack in hand, I managed to move this trolley out of the way. Finding another note inside, this one talking about a project to create floating cities that was labelled borderline criminal. I then used the key card that we found earlier to open this door. Once inside, I found a green key. Using the green key, I opened this door. Once inside, I was attacked once more by the rats.
What was that for? Whoa. A lighter.
Get to the lifeboats! Hurry!
Orloff, you coward!
Exploring the yacht some more, I found a 4-digit code and another voice recording from our good friend Olaf talking about the rabid rats.
Rabbit. Yet also smarter.
Using the code to open the safe, I then found some electrical wire and another note.
It's urgent from the
Right, we got the bomb.
We
So let's go plant the bomb.
curse to our
Placing the bomb at the foot of the door, I took shelter.
Boom, baby!
Once inside, I found another note which contained our next coordinates, a blueprint for a steering wheel and an engine. I then left the boat, but not before saying goodbye.
Haha. See you later, buddy.
I took the blueprints back to the boat
Oh,
and placed them on the research table.
Wicked. And Bruce is all.
I then immediately crafted a steering wheel and placed it down on our raft. We then entered the coordinates for the next adventure, Balboa Island. I then crafted our first engine and placed it down on our raft and filled it with as many planks as it could hold. Realizing we had too many foundations, we crafted another engine and placed that down.
And if we turn that on, yes, we're away.
After having 2 hectic days, I decided to spend the day adding some homey touches to our raft.
Oh, you can actually store stuff in the cupboard. How cool's that? Aww, ain't that pretty?
With our shack now looking nice and cozy, I decided to call it a night. The next morning, I got to work smelting more seaweed, collecting more planks and mangoes. We then killed Bruce once more
Oh, you got me. There we go.
and smacked the life out of the seabed floor once more. I also found a large chest containing various items. Once again, I got to work smelting, this time metal ore, and cooking ourselves some fish. Refilled our purifier with seawater, and then built ourselves another engine. I didn't know it at the time, but these turned out to be a huge mistake. I then filled in any areas missing collection nets, and moved our calendar above our bed, all the while keeping our recycler filled with palm leaves. Early the next morning, I spotted Balboa Island, and boy was it huge. I then circled the island trying to find a place to disembark our raft. We then crafted ourselves a sweep net and plenty of stone arrows. Stepping foot on Balboa Island, I didn't know it yet, but this part of the story would be one of our worst moments of the whole 100 days.
What's this say? Unauthorized personnel to not enter during mating season.
Realizing I didn't fill up our drinking bottle, we turned back to our raft. As night drew in, we decided to carry out some relaxing fishing. I then cooked all the fish that we had caught. I then got to work exploring the island the next morning. I then stumbled across a signpost and decided that we head in the direction of Relay Station 2.
What's that noise?
I then heard a strange ringing noise. It wasn't long before we came across our first bear, who wasn't quite as loving as Yogi Bear.
I'm gonna get mauled by a bear. Whoa, these things have got so much ammo health. Oh, we got it. One for good measure. Wow. So if I press... It's like it's got like a little piercing from the ox.
With the bell noise still ringing, I went in search of what it could be.
Tuck change, sorry.
I then took care of Barney Bear and coming across an abandoned tent that had seen better days.
There's not much there anymore, mate.
I then jumped our way across this acid-filled area, missing our jumps on occasion. We was burned for our troubles. Once across, I then found what appeared to be the ranger station.
Requires 1 light bulb. Oh,
Once inside, I found the blueprint for a biofuel refiner. I then made my way up to the top of Relay Station 2. Once inside, I turned on the power and the station booted to life.
out of 3 relay stations activated.
I then found a note from Bruno talking about him and his sister being left in charge of the relay station, and that the next shift, who was supposed to take over, never arrived. As night fell, I come across bees for the very first time. We whipped out our sweep net and swung at them wildly, collecting them in the process. I then found honeycomb nearby and collected this too. Finding ourselves at a drawbridge, I picked up some rocks and threw them at what appeared to be a lever.
Well, hey, hole in one.
I then made my way up to the top of relay tower number 4, finding another note from Bruno.
The kids are fighting. Oh, Astrid would have known how to make them stop.
Ooh, fuel pipes.
I found her wrench out by the clearing. I've been calling out on the radio. Please, I just want to talk, sis. Miranda is screaming outside. I hope her and Henry make up soon.
I also found this drawing, although it didn't make any sense. Being chased by a bear, I decided to make my way across the acid, hoping he wouldn't follow, but I was wrong.
I didn't expect him to run through the acid. Oh, no, no, no.
Slowly dying of thirst, I made my way back to the raft. Learning the 2 blueprints we had collected upon our return, the next morning, I headed off bright and early for another day. Finding another bear on our way, I decided to try and kill it. Little did I know at the time that I had stumbled across Mama Bear, and let me tell you, she was one strong cookie.
No, 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 no. Oh, wow.
And this is where it went all wrong. Dying to Mama Bear meant we lost most of our inventory, and those engines had taken up all of our planks for fuel. So there was only one thing for it. I had to leave Balboa Island, feeling defeated. I then left myself a permanent reminder of my failure.
We failed. So if we research that, we can now make healing salve and good healing salve. Soothes and restores your wounds.
Coming across another small island, it was now time to get to work restocking our depleted supplies. In desperate need of planks, I placed down a large crop plot and planted a palm seed. I then came across another small island and jumped in search of metal ore. Unable to find any, Bruce then took his shot.
How is metal this scarce?
Our palm tree had now grown, so I chopped it down and planted another in its place. I then got to work cutting down as many trees on the island as we could find, and collected as much metal ore and resources as I possibly could. Leaving the island, I fired up our engines. I then fell through a hole in the raft and nearly got left behind.
No.
Toward the end of day 45, I stumbled across another trading post island.
Oh, there's a wheelbarrow.
I was then once again face to face with our arch nemesis. Thankfully, this one didn't have as much health as old Mama Bear.
Oh. Oh.
Using some of our trash cubes, I purchased some planks and fishing bait. We then found another large storage chest, and then caught some more bees and collected their honey.
Yum yum.
Returning to our raft, I got to work filling up the recycler with more trash, and spent the rest of the night cutting down trees. Day 47 now, I started the day by placing down another smelter. I then placed the sail back down on my raft.
Corn tree. Haha, look how cute that is. So,
with our food supply dwindling, we placed down a few small crop plots and planted our remaining potatoes. I then spent the rest of the day fishing using the recently purchased bait. As night fell on day 47, our potatoes were ready for harvest, so we collected our crops and replanted them once more. Placing down Mr. Scarecrow to protect our plots while they explored the nearby island. I then got to work killing Bruce and slapping anything I could find with our hook. Returning to the raft, we placed down 2 medium crop plots and planted ourselves some watermelon seeds. I then sold all the fish I caught on the previous day. I then bought some more simple fishing bait. With our recently collected bees, it was now time to make our very own beehive. I then extended the raft some more so I was able to place down the beehive. Placing them down on our raft, I then placed down a few small crop plots nearby, planting all the flower seeds I had collected along the way. I then watered the flowers, and just like that, the beehive sprung to life.
ooh. We got bees. Oh, we're producing honeycomb. Yes.
The next morning, we crafted ourselves a cooking pot, and let me tell you, this became a lifesaver.
Wicked.
Crafting ourselves another advanced purifier. This meant that we would never have to wait for fresh drinking water. I then moved our food storage next to our cooking pot. Day 51 was like any other. We killed Bruce, collected as much material as I could find,
Oh,
crafting ourselves another smelter. I placed it down. This was now 6 in total. I then crafted and placed a biofuel refiner. This was huge as it meant I didn't need to use planks for our engines. I then crafted another cooking pot and placed it down on our raft. I also found a recipe for vegetable soup. This turned out to be our main meal for the next 49 days. Early the next day, I carried out some pest control.
oh, what a shot. Have that. You little pest. And you.
We then built ourselves a recycle bin, meaning we didn't have to throw things back into the ocean. We finished the day by smelting up more vine goo. Jumping back into the ocean once more, I stumbled across another puffer fish. I was then attacked by Edge once more, nearly causing another death. Oh! Once at the trading post, I sold all the fish that I had previously caught.
What?
With tier 2 now unlocked, we purchased some advanced fishing bait and some more explosive goo. I then spent the rest of the day using our new bait to catch more exotic fish. Returning to another trading post island, it was time to take care of Big Bird once and for all.
Yes, we killed it. Finally. We wear this one? Haha! Oh yeah.
Once back on our raft, I proudly placed Big Bird next to our failure bear. With our recent material hunt, we had collected a nice amount of metal ore to smelt. I then crafted ourselves a juicer. Disclaimer, I barely used it for the remainder of the 100 days. With our overflowing stock of palm leaves, we refilled the recycler. At the end of day 55, I was able to collect our first bit of biofuel and placed it into the engine. We come across another trading post island on day 56. Using all our trash cubes, we bought ourselves some more advanced fishing bait. I then stumbled across another crate of goodies, and on our way back to our raft, we managed to net ourselves another chicken for the petting zoo.
Seeing as the other one's called Egg, you may as well be called Yolk.
Today was the day. It was time to get revenge on Mama Bear. Just kidding, we took the coward's way out and placed down some wild berries into the trough. With Mama Bear now distracted, we was able to sneak past and collect ourselves a blueprint for a machete. I then put the machete to good use on the next bear I could find.
Ooh.
I then used our machete to cut through these vine leaves. This then led us to the final relay station.
Oh. Huh. Johnny. Hello, Johnny.
Buddy! Yeah, could you be an angel and help me out a bit? I'd owe you big time. Oh, man. I would have been a goner without you. Tip for future me.
With Johnny now saved, I turned on the relay station and found ourselves a blueprint for a fuel tank. Returning to our raft, we placed in the next coordinates on our receiver. At the end of day 57, I crafted a fuel tank and placed it down on our raft. I then added another engine to our collection. I then used the fuel pipes to link from the fuel tank to our engines. Once again, I refilled our recycler with more palm leaves. I then got to work extending our raft once more. With our biofuel production in full swing, we needed more honey, so we crafted another beehive. I then harvested and planted more potatoes for our vegetable stew. At the end of day 58, I arrived at Caravan Town. Early the next morning, I leapt off our raft and explored what Caravan Town had to offer. While on the island, I found a well with something at the bottom. Following the pipe, I found a hand pump. Pressing down the pump, we made the water flow, but it only went so far. We then adjusted this funnel to allow the water to flow through it, repeating the process once more on the next section of pipe. Returning to the top, we found a top secret note from Detor about the water pump. So top secret, I can't even tell you. With the well now full, we managed to bring up what was inside.
Zipline part. Oh, wicked.
Deciding for a spot of thrill seeking on our way back to our raft.
Woohoo!
I then took care of Big Bird as it was constantly dropping rocks on us.
There we go.
The next morning I found another note.
As one, the Raft towns of Indonesia. The flooding of Jakarta has led to escaping locals creating interconnected rafts as they make their way to land. We just make do, said Chuchi Reyes, one of the earlier adopters of these raft towns, when inquired by one of our reporters about their living conditions.
Exploring further, I found even more charger cables laying around. I then found what looked like some sort of shrine.
Dad's hook, please take care of it. You never even gave us your name, but you helped us greatly. May we see you ahead. The boy Hillman fought like a man. We could not be more proud. Dinny, please wait for me. This is strange. Alea, I held on as long as I could forgive. Please forgive me. Ariel, we were harder on you than you deserve. Sorry. Junie, you drifted close to us from afar. I wish we'd let you in sooner.
Finding another note, this time it was from Olaf, who had clearly made his way to Caravan Town, talking about wanting to take over a city named Tangaroa. Exploring some more, I found what appeared to be a rocket. I then stumbled across what appeared to be another one of Deto's experiments with a hose leading into the water.
What is this?
My name is Sanjay. I think I'm in trouble. Deto put together a diving suit using a bike and an old diving helmet. Deto put weights in it to go down, but he put in too much. Now if I leave, then no one will pump air to Deto using the bike.
Returning once more to our raft so that we was able to offload all the material that we had collected.
Wood. Scrap it up.
Returning to Deto's science experiment the next morning, I followed the hose down into the water, killing a pufferfish on our way. Running low on oxygen, I found an air pocket in what looked like a cement mixer. With our oxygen now restored, we explored deeper, finding another air pocket further down. I then followed the hose once more before coming across a storage container at the bottom. Inside we found an infirmary key, another zipline part and a blueprint for a metal detector.
What was that? Oh, we found a metal detector.
I then made my way back to the surface. Using our newfound metal detector, we went searching for treasure and found some buried items.
Oh, we found treasure. What did we get? Oh my!
I then returned to Deto's rocket with the required explosive powder.
What? Something just landed over there. Oh, what is that coming down? Zipline part. Yes, we got the final zipline part. Major Tom and blueprint for fireworks.
Returning to our raft, I placed down Major Tom in our shack.
Oh, that is so cool.
With all the parts now required, we was able to craft ourselves the zipline, receiving the blueprints for the zipline and zipline tool.
Oh, no!
Falling on our first use, clearly I needed practice. Heading over to the infirmary, I used the key I found earlier to unlock the door. Inside, I found the mayor's chest key.
It's been 3.
With the chest key now in hand, I headed over to the mayor's caravan. Once inside, I found the mayor's hat.
Oh, hold on. Let me just use some healing salve. Can I wear it? Yeah, I can. Let's have a look. Hello, it's the mayor of Caravan Town.
I then used the parts I had found on the island to unlock the blueprints for a battery charger.
Oh, no way.
Inside the mayor's chest, I found the blueprints for engine controls. Before leaving Caravan Town, I used our metal detector once more, this time finding a safe containing 5 titanium ore.
Sorry, bees. Oh, found a chest. Ah, yes, we got titanium ore.
Once again, we nearly got left behind by our raft.
Uh-oh. No! Oof.
With our engines all now in place, we decided to build some walls to hide them away on our raft. I then collected our potatoes, smelted more ore, restocked our vegetable soup, and filled up our biofuel refiner. On day 64, I crafted another recycler so that we could start to get through the crazy amount of palm leaves that we had. Stopping off at another island for some more metal detecting.
Ooh, briefcase.
I then placed down the painting I had just found on our raft, finishing the day using our trusty hook once more. With our raft now extended more, we had more space for collection nets. I then decided to move the animal pen for the second time, this time providing them with more grass. I then got to work building our new crop plot area. Using a wall, I was able to condense them nicely. I then crafted a sprinkler and placed it down on our raft. This meant that we no longer had to water each crop plot individually.
There we go.
After a day of floating, our nets were now full. I then stopped by another small island to carry out some metal detecting.
More titanium, hopefully.
On day 66, I decided to add another floor above our engine room. But just as quick as I had built it, I decided to remove it, realizing how much material it would take. Instead, we decided to extend our first floor more next to our shack. This was soon to become our new production area on the raft. With all the practice using our bow, it was finally paying off.
Oh! What a shot!
While carrying out chores on our raft, I then come across a half-sunken ship, which apparently only has a 2% chance of spawning in the game.
Ah, radio! Picked up a radio. I don't think I've got anything to use the radio with. And a captain's hat. Can I wear the captain's hat instead of the mayor's hat? You can. Oh, this is my newfound favourite. Ahoy, matey!
With a sunken ship, there had to be treasure.
How ironic, right on the help sign. Just casually pulling out dirt out of a stone.
Placing down our radio that I had found on the ship, I then turned it on.
Oh, that is wicked. Times in the summer.
I got to work once more, making another batch of vegetable soup. While collecting more resources from the seabed floor, I was then attacked by a kamikaze pufferfish.
Oh! Oh, you little bugger.
Once back on our raft, I now had enough titanium ore to craft our engine controls, placing them down on our upper deck.
Go, 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 go.
The next morning, I finally finished our production room before arriving at Tangaroa.
Man, that looks huge.
This place was huge. Expecting another couple of days off the raft, I got to work cooking up more vegetable soup. I jumped off the raft and swam our way into the loading dock of Tangaroa and headed inside. Once inside, I then made our way down this ladder, finding another one of Orloff's rats at the bottom. Once inside the cafeteria, I found another note.
Ordered us to push the engines to their limits. We're trying to outrun a fleet of rafts or something. It's going to overheat the reactor. I sent a message up the tower. Tully doesn't care. I hope you're faring better.
I then found all the required generator parts and installed them into the missing slots within the generator, which then turned on this grabber. From there, it was a case of lining up the tape on top of the containers, clearing a path to the exit.
In round, yes.
Once through, I found a blueprint for a water pipe and another note.
Upset about the extreme rationing.
I then made my way up this ladder, opening the hatch, but it flooded us with water. With the room now flooded full of water, I found a way out using this ladder. Once inside the plantation, I found that the water was electrified, so I had to jump across these tables. I then picked up a roll of tape and another note. With 3 tapes now collected, I was able to repair these controls. This then opened up another compartment.
Things have gone quiet. Security team still going patrols in their ridiculous golf carts, trying to keep some semblance of order.
Exploring further, I then found myself inside Tangaroa.
No. Ooh, you little...
Taking care of the hostile
Tangaroa
bot, I was then
keycard,
able to
okay.
collect a keycard. I then used the keycard to gain
keycard.
access into one of the tower blocks, finding more
Duct
tape
We need more duct tape, nice.
and a vending machine token, although I
Pick up
didn't know what
vending
this was
machine
for yet.
token. Okay.
Atop one of the tower blocks, I then jumped across. I then took a wild ride on this zip line. Once inside another tower block, using our machete, I broke through this taped up door. I then found a safe and some more tape. I then returned to the plantation with more tape in hand to repair another door control. Finding another damaged power cable, I used more tape. This time, it stopped the water from being electrified. I then stumbled across another blueprint, this time for an electric purifier. I then made my way inside this elevator and headed up to the 8th floor. Once at the top, I stumbled across the remnants of a birthday party. I then used my zipline once more to get to another building, to find more of Orloff's rats inside. I then found a zipline that led to the central tower, so I headed across. Once across, we made our way up this elevator, where I found another blueprint, this time for a large storage chest and a door that required a code.
Take note.
With our new note, I then worked out that these buildings within Tangaroa made
Right,
up the
so what
key
do I need?
code.
I'm going to have to go all the way back down and look at these. Tranquil Street, Victoria Lane.
Before that though, I returned to my raft and learned our newly acquired blueprints.
What's this for? So 4, 8. Floating fashion. Aha, 1. So 4, 8, 1, 3.
Returning to the keypad, I entered our newly obtained code.
4, 8, 1, 3. Well, hey. Holy shit. What just happened there? A backup emergency system. What? You just shot something into the water.
Whoa. This had ejected some sort of escape pod. I then climbed up the ladder and dropped down this hatch. I then found another person on board. God knows how long she had been there.
Elena.
You there! Get me out of this thing!
Oh, water tank. New note. Varuna Point.
I then found what all those vending machine tokens were for.
Oh, a bag. We need a bag. Oh my god. Piano's 8. We got the piano.
I then chopped down as many trees as we could find. Upon returning to our raft, I placed down the piano and played a tune. The next day, I placed down our freshly acquired plants and carried out some crop harvesting, metal detecting any island that we floated past for possible titanium ore. While moving our cooking area, I stupidly lost one of our cooking pots. And then I placed down our electric purifier. This was a big upgrade. I then made sure we kept our biofuel refiners well stocked and emptied our collection nets once more. The next morning we arrived at another trading post island, so I sold all of our exotic fish, and purchased more simple bait by mistake. I then also bought ourselves a foundation counter and an advanced small crop plot, something I never used. I then used my metal detector once more. I was then attacked by Edge and his tag team partner, Christian.
361.
The next morning on another island, I carried out even more metal detecting. I then got to work upgrading the walls to our production room. I then moved all the smelters upstairs to the new production room. Placing down our recyclers next to the smelters. At the end of day 77, I come across another trading post island. The next morning I stumbled across a llama. I had not seen one since our failed attempt on day 19.
Yes! Name him the Chosen One.
Returning to our raft, I then introduced him to the crew. I once more carried out some more metal detecting,
Classical cassette.
crafted ourselves some more stone arrows, took care of Edge once more. I then made light work of Big Bird.
Ah, got it. Nice. Woohoo!
I then began to make our way to the trading post, which was on top of the mountain. Selling our exotic fish once more. On my way down from the top of the mountain, I carried out some metal detecting.
Oh, briefcase normally means titanium. Yes.
Before returning to my raft, I caught another chicken. The next morning, I crafted a battery charger, placing it down on our raft. I then linked it to the fuel tank. With it now full of fuel, I placed down 2 empty batteries. I was then able to collect wool from the llama. Placing it down on a research table, we was now able to craft ourselves a bag, although this was a bit late. I then got to work upgrading our foundations to this new fancy wood. Before the day was out, Bruce destroyed our battery charger.
No! Bruce!
The next morning I then carried on upgrading our foundations, placing down more large crop plots and harvesting our crops. Using our advanced fishing bait, I then spent the rest of the evening catching more exotic fish. Day 82 now, and I got to work building a new area for our cooking station. I then headed to the trading post and sold our exotic fish. With this, we had finally unlocked Tier 3.
Oh, advanced scarecrow. Oh, we need one more trash cube. Keep seagulls away from your crop plots for good.
Desperately wanting the advanced scarecrow, I returned to our recyclers and placed in more palm leaves. With the now required trash cubes, I returned to the trading post and purchased the advanced scarecrow. That is so creepy. Arriving at another island, we carried out more metal detecting. Ah, tiki mask. Oh yeah. I then caught another llama. Yes. Come on, bud. I then moved our advanced purifier closer to our new cooking station. Our honey farm was still getting pilfered by the seagulls, so I moved it closer to the advanced scarecrow. Now moved, I replanted more flower seeds. With more material, I now got to upgrading our Raft once more. I then crafted another battery charger, making sure not to place it too close to the edge this time. The next morning, after a rough night's sleep, I decided it was time for an upgrade. Major Tom. I then got to work upgrading the walls of our shack and placing down some more homely touches. I then decided to start a next big build on the raft. Coming across another abandoned raft, something I had not seen for a while. The next morning I got to work upgrading the petting zoo. Hey! Not wanting to lose our new build to Bruce, I got to work placing down some fortified foundations. Coming across another trading post island, I first took care of Yogi Bear. My turn. Oh, it's got some health. I then explored the island while using our metal detector at any opportunity. Day 86, while in our new captain's quarters, we arrived at Varuna Point. I then got to work preparing ourselves for what was to come. As the building was submerged, I crafted ourselves some flippers, a headlight, and an oxygen ball. Stepping foot on Varuna Point, I was once more greeted by another rat. Exploring further, I then found a note from someone named Grabber, who clearly inhabited Varuna Point and stole other people's stuff. Exploring further, I then found a ladder leading to the top of a crane. Once at the top of the crane, I entered the cabin to find that a key was required. Climbing further in search of the key, I found a blueprint for an electrical grill. I then stupidly managed to fall off the crane, but somehow only managed to lose half my health, tough as nails. Making our way to the top of the crane once more, I then ziplined across to the other building in search of the crane key. Unable to find anything, I jumped off the building into the water, and this is when we spotted where I needed to go. Requires spotlight parts. I then went in search of the spotlight parts, but instead come across this angry anglerfish. Whoa, what are they? Mate, they're creepy. How's it getting me? I then stumbled across our first spotlight part while exploring. I then spotted another part, but first I had to take care of this anglerfish. After exploring further, I then found the third and final spotlight part. I then returned to the floodlight and placed in the required parts. This then cleared a path through the jellyfish. I then made my way through what appeared to be traps placed by Grabber.
Leaving for that other construction project, the one taken over by Rafters. They call it Utopia.
Narrowly avoiding being splatted. Holy moly, I just missed that. I then found the motherlode key and another note from Grabber.
If the mother wasn't on a
Believing that Grabber had lost his mind, this confirmed it. Returning to our raft, I learned the blueprints we'd recently acquired. I then made my way back down into the water to find the motherlode. Using the motherlode key, I was then able to unlock this door. Exploring further, I then come across a dead end. What the oh my word. No. Oh! While avoiding being attacked, I realised that I needed to make the rhino shark charge into the column. Trying to set this explosive into the column, I was charged at by the rhino shark. Without realising, our flippers and oxygen bottle had broken. I was left a sitting duck. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have to retreat. Returning back to our raft, I crafted some flippers and an oxygen bottle. Returning once more, I was immediately attacked. Oh my god, he just hit me straight on the nose. I then placed the explosives into the column and baited the rhino shark to attack. Aha! This then opened another floor. I was once again too slow, avoiding being attacked. No! It was now a case of rinse and repeat, although this time it took 2 hits to each column. I then ran out of oxygen and nearly died in the process. No! Oh. Returning to the shark, I then placed another explosive in the column. Once more opening up another floor above. This time there was only 1 column, but it took 3 attacks from the shark to expose the rebar. That's it. I then set up the explosive once more. Yes! Oh, we've done it! We beat him. Get in. Oh, look how much meat we're getting. Jesus! Rhino Shark Trophy. Climbing through the hole, I then found a blueprint for a wind turbine and the key to the crane. I then returned to the crane and climbed up once more, placing in the key and pulling the lever. Oh, so that's why we need the zip line over there. Whoa! I then used the zip line to investigate the hole we had created. Woohoo! Oh, there's another. Once inside, I found a blueprint for an advanced battery. Returning to our raft, I then placed down the rhino shark. That thing is massive! The next day, I then got back to work on our captain's quarters. Stopping off at another trading post island, I then purchased some titanium ore and carried out a spot of metal detecting. Ooh. A safe. Oh, I got another tiki mask. I can't even see what it is. Oh, we have hit the motherlode for titanium ore on this island. I then placed down a spooky photo and placed down our recently dug up tiki mask. I then decided to craft ourselves a wind turbine. I then got back to work on our captain's quarters, finishing the roof. No, you can actually you can actually control it while being sat down. After 92 days at sea, I was a little dirty, so I decided to craft a bath. Raft, sweet raft. There we go. Throughout this journey, I was unable to know the time, but this was about to change. I then got to work upgrading our foundations once more. I didn't quite realise how much material this would actually cost. I then moved the receiver to above the captain's quarters. Yeah. I then moved Major Tom to his new home. Using some of our titanium ore, I then crafted the electric grill. This cooks 6 small fish or 2 large fish at a time. After not seeing Bruce for some time, I decided to kill him once more. For some reason, we had managed to come across our first story location once more. Good things come to those who float. Ironic on a toilet. With 6 days left, we then got to work sprucing up our raft. I then added some lighting on the raft to create a nice glow behind the trees. At the end of day 94, I then put the finishing touches to our new seating area. Returning to another trading post island, I then bought a Viking horn, a surfboard, and a honk honk horn. I then returned to our raft and placed down the surfboard. That is so cool. Put that up here. Yes. On the morning of day 96, I then crafted a paint mill and placed in some yellow flowers. Feeling the need for music, I then inserted a recently found cassette. Squeezing the honk honk horn every time we passed. With our newly acquired paint, I then crafted some paintings. Metal detecting once more, I then found another tiki mask. I then returned to our raft and placed it down in our cozy area. I then got to work adding some railings to our new piano deck. I then placed down a book on the table in the captain's area. Bruce ate my potato puffers. I then painted our pirate's flag in a fitting colour. At the end of day 98, we got to work upgrading the roof of our shack. The next morning, I then placed a selection of plants around the raft. Placing a fitting painting inside our toilet. On the morning of day 100, I then placed a hammock where we could hang out. I then got to work cooking our final meal on the raft. And finally finished upgrading our ceilings. As sunset on day 100, I played the piano with Major Tom by our side. And let off some fireworks in celebration of our 100 days on the raft. I then took one final walk around our raft to admire all we had achieved. And with that, we had survived 100 days in Raft. Thank you for watching, and if you like this type of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let me know what you would like to see me play next.